I completely mistook the merch for a standalone brand. I was totally wrong. It's just a brand that I keep forgetting that makes clothes, and it's Ferrari. I don't know why, but it's not a brand that people really talk about. And honestly, I'm glad I was. It was the leather jacket that got me wool and leather mixed together in this seamless, almost effortless way. It made me curious, so I went down the rabbit hole of the online store in the previous video, and I've been obsessed ever since. It didn't really surprise me that a brand like Ferrari would eventually make the move into high-end fashion. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense. They already had everything: the heritage, the craftsmanship, the name recognition, and being Italian doesn't hurt either. Italy and quality kind of go hand in hand, and Ferrari's history in sports cars already placed them firmly in heritage brand territory. The fashion world was just the next logical frontier. What probably accelerated the decision was social media. Ferrari's team clearly saw what was happening in 2010s, how brands could reach buyers directly, how content creators were replacing traditional ambassadors, and how F1 drivers were suddenly being photographed at Fashion Week and treated like proper celebrities. Lewis Hamilton is the obvious example. He's been in the limelight for years, funded campaigns for Tommy Hilfiger, and is now one of Ferrari's own drivers with his own merch collection with the brand. That whole shift in media, in advertising, and who gets to be called a celebrity was probably the moment Ferrari thought, okay, we can do something here. Now in this video, I'm not going to go too deep into the merch side of things. Honestly, there isn't that much to say, and when I went through it, I was hoping to find a leather jacket, which they do not have. These kind of leather jackets specifically. If anyone knows where to expect to get them, drop it in the comments, because I've been searching. All these years I assumed Ferrari was behind them, and they apparently aren't. Here's the real question. Can Ferrari actually pull this off? Can they balance F1 heritage, performance, and genuine style? Or is breaking into luxury fashion harder than it looks, even with deep pockets and the right faces to present the brand? Ferrari launched the in-house fashion collection in 2021 with Rocco as creative director, and he's still in that seat today. The man behind all of this, Ferrari didn't just hire anyone. Rocco started his career at Dolce & Gabbana back in 2006, which already tells you something about his foundations, that Italian craftsmanship, that understanding of how heritage and fashion coexist. He then moved to Giorgio Armani, where he climbed quickly and ended up as head of men's design, also taking on responsibility for special projects. And Armani, that's not a small thing. And honestly, when you look at the Ferrari collections and you see that restraint, that structure, that quiet confidence in the silhouettes, it makes complete sense. That's Armani's DNA showing up in a Ferrari look. From there, he moved to Paul Zilleri, I think that's how you pronounce it, as creative director before Ferrari came knocking. So this wasn't a gamble on Ferrari's part. They knew exactly what they were getting, and I think the collection proved that they got it right. The first show was held in Maranello, I think that's how you say it, Ferrari's hometown and headquarters, with the factory literally in the background. The models walked a runway that is also the assembly line for the V12 engine. That detail alone, I thought it was a great idea. It immediately ties the sports car heritage to the fashion brand without having to say a word. The bridge just builds itself. That said, looking back at that first collection now, it's actually my least favorite of theirs. There was a lot going on, not necessarily a bad thing, but when you compare it to what Ferrari stands for as a brand and to where the collection have gone since, it just didn't quite align. Too much noise for a brand that's at its best when it's restrained. The fall 2022 ready-to-wear was where things started to click. That collection leaned into what the brand is today. Minimal, structured, tailored, with strong silhouettes doing most of the talking. Interesting prints still showed up, but they weren't competing for attention anymore. What I really love about where the brand is now is that they haven't abandoned their DNA. The high-end tailoring is there, but so are the leisure cuts and sporty references that reminds you exactly where this brand comes from. The fall 2023 ready-to-wear is one of my personal favorites and a great example of that balance. Leans heavily into Ferrari's iconic red, and honestly, if anyone from the Ferrari team is watching this, I'm just going to say it, I would not say no to a few pieces. Just putting that out there, just saying, okay? spring 2025 as well, same upper stance. And spring 2026. Picking favorites from these collections was generally not easy, which tells you everything about where this brand is right now. On the business side, where Ferrari launched their fashion line, they brought in $431 million. By 2024, that had climbed into $670 million, a 7% jump year on year. And by 2025, 800 million euros. That's nearly double their starting point. The brand is still in growth mode, actively opening new stores and investing in the right ambassadors, while also positioning itself as an entry point for younger consumers, though with pieces starting around $3,000. It's a very particular kind of entry point. So where does that leave Ferrari as a fashion brand? Honestly, in a better position than most people probably expected. They came into an industry that doesn't really welcome newcomers, regardless of how famous your name is. And they've built something that actually has a point of view. It's not just a cash grab with a logo slap on a hoodie. The collections have a direction, a designer with the right pedigree behind them, and numbers that are only going up, nearly double their launch in just a few years. And that's not luck. That's a brand that's found its footing. For me personally, Ferrari is now one of those brands that I genuinely look forward to seeing for the coming seasons. The fact that they've managed to stay true to what Ferrari means, the heritage, the precision, the Italianness of it all, while building something that stands on its own in the fashion world is impressive. A lot of brands try that and get lost somewhere in between. I'm excited to see where Rocco takes it next, and Ferrari, if you're watching this, you already know where to find me. This is the Slick Cut, and I hope you guys like this video, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next. Bye.